Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Ginsland.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire. Tonight, the second leg of the Tigers' 10-game road trip begins as we welcome you to St. Petersburg. We're at Tropicana Field tonight, game one of this series featuring two teams. Well, right now, they're vying for the same thing, the wild card. The Rays and the Tigers, both 4 games behind Minnesota for that second wild card position. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba alongside Rod Allen. Glad to have you with us here for game one in this series. And there's no question, Rod, these two teams right now are battling for the same thing. Really, the Tigers coming off a rough series against the Red Sox, got to turn it around right now.
You know, you got a couple of teams that have different issues. For the Rays, it's their hitting. They've pitched very well. They've also defended very well, but that's what they do every single year. If it's the Tigers, the pitching, which has left them. The offense has been one of the best in all of baseball in the month of July, but yet wins are hard to come by.
All right, now they got a guy on the mound tonight who's done really well. In fact, over his last 8 starts, a 7-game winning streak. Anibal Sanchez, that's the good news tonight.
You know, really the only knock on Anibal Sanchez this year is the fact that he's given up a lot of home runs. Other than that, his stuff has been absolutely stellar. He keeps the ball down at the bottom of the strike zone for the most part, whether it be with a slider, whether it be with a two-seamer that he's found this year, that he's throwing a lot more frequently. He will change some eye levels and go upstairs. The one thing that he needs to guard himself against today against the Rays is not to make any mistakes over the heart of the plate against his team that's struggling from an offensive standpoint. If he's able to do that, led by Avila tonight, he'll have a very good evening.
All right, Nick Castellanos had himself a nice series at Fenway Park. He had 2 home runs. Did you see the one that he hit totally out of the ballpark? This guy right now is going pretty good.
I talked to Nick in the clubhouse today, and I said, where did you get that power from? He said, I really do not know because I've never hit balls as far as the balls he's hit in the last week or so. The one that started at Comerica Park, this one was off the bricks in left center field. That is an absolute bomb, folks. And then he did it back-to-back days in Boston. This one over the monster into the street in left field, and the other one to straightaway center field. Castellanos is playing with a tremendous amount of confidence right now from an offensive standpoint. You saw his numbers since June 23rd. He just needs to continue to work and continue to do exactly as he has done, and he'll continue to mature as a big leaguer.
All right, let's get some wins. Game one in this series coming up after a short break. Back at the Coliseum Studios we go, and Trevor Thompson coming up in this one here tonight, though. 2 teams battling for the wild card at this point. Evan Longoria powering the Rays, the Tigers, and Tampa Bay coming up next. It's game one in this series featuring the Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. And here comes Nathan Carnes, the right-hander, taking the mound tonight for the Rays. He'll face this lineup. Tigers line up like this, presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Ian Kinsler to start things off, then Yoenis Cespedes and Victor Martinez. JD is in right, Castellanos at third, Avila back behind the dish tonight. Jose Iglesias, his first start this year, batting seventh, so they bumped him up. Romine at first, and Gose is in center field. Here are the numbers now, and they're pretty good on Nathan Carnes.
He's a rookie. He checks in 5-5 because he really doesn't get a whole lot of run support. The ERA sits at 3.47. He has punched out more than 100 batters already this year, and the opponent's batting average very low, 95 with the fastball, outstanding curveball. And because of that curveball, Mario, he has thrown 12 wild pitches already this season. Let's take a look at the starting defensive alignment for the Tampa Bay Rays. It is brought to you by Tim Hortons, right to left, Souza Jr., Kiermaier to Jesus. Kiermaier in center field is no joke. 23 defensive runs saved this year. He covers a lot of real estate out there. Longoria, Beckham, Forsythe, Loney in the infield. Casale, he is the catcher this evening.
Well, the Tigers had only 3 hits in the ball game last night in Boston. Ian Kinsler is back in the leadoff slot here tonight for this game. It'll be Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez. The Tigers dropping 2 out of 3 to the Boston Red Sox. So it's on to St. Pete we go, and here is the first pitch of tonight's ball game. Kinsler looks at one right at the knees. He thought it was a touch low. No balls in 1 strike on Ian, batting .284.
Yeah, I told you that Carnes has the big arm. He's got the fastball that will top out about 95. The curveball is a sharp break on that, and he also features an occasional changeup.
Ian has really perked up offensively. 356 in the month of July, 13 RBIs this month as well. They need him to continue that through the final 2 months of this season. The 1-1 is lifted in the air toward left field, hit pretty good. Backing up is DeJesus, track, Wall to make the catch. 1 gone. Close, no cigar. That'll bring up Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes, like many of the Tigers, really struggled with the bat at Fenway Park. He was just 1 for 11 in that series. And the average now .285. The one, however, was a home run.
Looked like to me that Yoenis was a little bit amped up. Going back playing against his former team in Fenway Park the last 3 days. Looked like he was pulling off everything.
First one is up high to Cespedes.
But that's not uncommon when players do get moved from one team to another when they go back to see that team. And they usually try to do a little bit more than they're capable of doing.
Carnes ready with the 1-0 pitch. Lifted back out of play. Well, it certainly looked like Rick Porcello was amped up to face his former teammates, but he did well.
He sure did. He kept the ball down, and for a guy that was really having a poor year, Porcello, he really handcuffed the Tigers' bats.
Brad Ausmus looking over the charts, hoping his offense wakes up tonight.
We haven't seen the curveball yet from Carnes. Until now.
There it is. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Long look in for the home plate umpire Ed Hickox after that last breaking ball was not called a strike.
Cespedes hammers one in the air to center field. It's going to be playable, though. Kiermaier is under it. 2 long fly ball outs. Now Victor Martinez. This is a Rays team that was or is 9-21 since starting the year 40-30, so they have hit the skids. And they're facing a Tigers team that is just like Tampa, 2 games under the 500 mark coming into play. Victor just 1 for 10 in that series against the Red Sox. Fouled straight back, 0-1. Well, the Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher-batter matchup, and we're going to look at Victor against the Rays overall. I mean, he has really mauled Tampa pitching. 361. Only Joe Mauer has been better. Missed it up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And those numbers bode well for Victor after going 1 for 10 in the Boston series to come to a park where you usually have a lot of success. A lot of the Tigers batters are seeing Carnes for the very first time.
Bouncing ball right side. That'll be a routine play for Logan Forsythe. And it'll be a 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Carnes. We go to the bottom of the first in St. Pete. Tonight by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Anibal Sanchez leads the squad in wins with 10 this year, and in 10 of the last 11 starts, he's pitched at least 7 innings, and the Tigers desperately need that tonight because their bullpen in the last 6 games have had to log 19 innings, so they need a break.
Well, it's going to be John Jaso to start things off against Sanchez. Jaso, DeJesus, and Longoria against the Tigers right-hander. And Jaso looks at ball 1 outside. DH is batting .333. He's been on the disabled list. In fact, he missed 83 games with a bad wrist. And he takes ball 2.
I guess Jaso's got the show hair going here this season.
The show hair?
Yeah.
He also has a very different batting stance as well.
I'm telling you. Not one you would teach at the house.
There's a strike call, 2-1.
He hits, though. This guy gets on base for the most part when healthy, gives you a quality at bat.
Low, 3 balls, 1 strike on Jaso. He'll be followed by DeJesus here in the first inning for the Rays. Their first swings at Anibal Sanchez. Now the 3-1. Lifted in the air toward left, slicing, and a long run for Iglesias. Can he get there? Man, you almost expected him to make every play. He nearly got to that ball.
He has a tremendous amount of range, but he was swung way around with the shift on Jaso in the infield. Therefore, even Iglesias, with all his range, can't get there. And if you notice, that one of the things that he did do while he was running for that ball, he never took his eye off of the ball until he got to the ball. And that's one of the things that we'll watch for in this series, that white ceiling up there. Sometimes you'll lose fly balls up there.
Also had to deal with the pitching mound in the bullpens. Jaso will take his walk to start things off. Here's the rest of the Tigers starting lineup presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Jaso, DeJesus, and Longoria for the Rays, followed by Loney, Forsythe, and Steven Souza Jr. Kiermaier, Beckham, Pisali, 194 homers for Evan Longoria. That is a franchise high. Now the veteran David DeJesus.
Even though Jaso is their leadoff hitter and Anibal Sanchez walked him, you really don't have to worry about him stealing a bag. He has no steals so far this year.
And DeJesus looks at ball one, so Anavel's command not very crisp, at least in the early goings. DeJesus has been struggling, just one for his last 18. Sanchez, meanwhile, has not been struggling. We talked to you about his 7-game win streak on the open tonight. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Tigers have won each of Sanchez's last 8 starts. Annabelle has a no decision mixed in there. DeJesus batting .258. Another swing and a miss. That went up at the letters.
Had a nice conversation with David down on the field today, and he was talking about his former team, the Kansas City Royals, and Moustakas and Hosmer. He spent a lot of years playing for Kansas City, and he said when they always bring up the #1 draft choices and they would take BP, he'd look at the guys and say, well, this guy's got a chance to play here for a while. He didn't get a chance to play with all of them, though.
It'll miss high and away.
There was a time when we went to Kansas City, he pretty much was all the offense they had.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, his first 8 years were spent in a Royals uniform. 35 years old now, and his numbers have not been spectacular in his career, but they've been steady. Longoria waiting on deck. Popped him up foul. That'll get back out of play. Well, it's a Rays team, Rod, that really has struggled this year with the bats. Offensively, just .237 this season.
They've got a lot of rookies. A lot of guys that really haven't played all that much at this level, other than Longoria and a couple of other guys. Kevin Cash, the youngest manager in all of baseball, has never managed anywhere except here. A lot of unknowns coming into the season.
Missed it again. Fill the count now, 3-2 on DeJesus.
Walking batters usually is not an issue for Anibal Sanchez.
Well, he's walked the leadoff man, Jaso. Now he's gone 3-2 on DeJesus. Longoria lurking.
Yeah, more than likely, Jaso will be on the move here to try to stay out of a double play.
There he goes. And a shattered bat roll toward first. Romine will tag the bag for the out. The runner advances.
Let's take a look at the Tigers' starting defense. It's presented to you today by Beaumont Health System, right to left. And they've got J.D. Martinez. They've got Anthony Ghost. They have Cespedes in left. And it's a good outfield. It's an outfield that can really throw. Castellanos, Iglesias, Kinsler, Romine in the infield. Alex, he's the catcher. And Tigers have played very well defensively in this ballpark on the artificial surface. You always get a true hop.
So here is Longoria. .265 batting average. Ball one inside. Longoria has 10 home runs this year. And he's knocked in 43. Here's the 1-0 from Sanchez, and a ground ball to third, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Longoria has just 2 home runs in his last 94 at bats. And when you look at how this lineup is structured here, Rod, I mean, he is certainly the marquee piece in the middle of that lineup.
Yes, and one of those home runs came yesterday. I'm surprised he's been able to drive in 43 runs this year with really no one else to help him in the lineup. I'm surprised more teams don't pitch around Longo.
Agreed. It's fouled off at home plate. Well, he's been here a few years now, and here are the ranks for Longoria in franchise history. Leads in homers, leads in doubles. One ball, 2 strikes. Sanchez about to deliver his 17th pitch of this first inning. Here's the 1-2. High, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sanchez lifetime against the Rays has an ERA north of 5.08, and that is covered over 6 starts in his career. Jaso at second base with 1 out. Rays bat in the first. Good block there by Avila. And now again, Sanchez gone to a 3-ball count.
If you're Anibal Sanchez, you cannot be afraid to throw that changeup that you just threw 3-1, 3-2 to Longoria. Longoria has been, since coming to the big leagues, an outstanding fastball hitter and a dead pull hitter.
And it gets away on ball 4. It'll go to the backstop. To third base goes Jaso. And it's a walk for Longoria. That'll put runners at first and third.
It's a fastball that, I don't know. Is that going to go as a wild pitch or is that going to go as a pass ball?
I got that as a pass ball. It looked like it was a play that Avila should have made. I don't think it hit the dirt, did it?
Something's wrong with Sanchez.
Here comes Kevin Rand out. It is a wild pitch.
Brad Ausmus also strolling to the mound. I think Avila noticed something.
It is usually the catchers that notice it first.
It's a fastball about 93 miles an hour that Avila just didn't get to. Yes, Sanchez missed with the location, but usually Alex catches that ball, or at least keeps it in front of him.
So Sanchez telling his manager and the trainer, I'm all right. He's convinced them of that. And here is James Loney. Again, they ruled that a wild pitch. Put runners at first and third. Loney with 3 homers. He's also battled the DL as well. 2 stints on the DL. Loney sends it high in the air to right field. Shallow. Coming in is Martinez. Runner tagging. Jaso will challenge him but not come home, and that's a wise decision.
Outstanding throw by J.D. Martinez, who, because the ball was lofted highly in front of him, able to get his feet set and made a very nice one-hop throw to Alex Avila. Can't do it any better than this, kids at home.
Boy, is J.D. rounded into a really nice player.
He's having an outstanding year. 12 assists from the outfield.
Your buddy Simo was on that list.
Twice.
So first and third now with 2 outs. Here is Logan Forsythe. And he almost hit him up and in. 1-0. This is not a good start for Sanchez, who seems like he is out of sorts here. 21 pitches now in the first inning.
And he might just get out of it.
Yeah, not to mention a wild pitch thrown in there. But if he gets Forsythe, we go back to the bench.
He probably has been their most consistent player from the beginning of the season up until this point, Forsythe. You saw the 11 home runs. He hit number 11 yesterday. He's also driven in quite a few runs, and he's been steady at his position.
Well, it's clearly his best season of his career so far. 41 driven in search of the 2-out hit here in the first. Swing and a miss.
A good 93-mile-per-hour fastball thrown right by Forsythe. Located on the outer third. Man, did Forsythe really drop that back shoulder on that last swing. Might want to go upstairs with another fastball.
Oh, they got the runner caught between first and second. Jaso now coming home, and he'll get caught in a rundown. Avila will run him back and apply the tag. So the Tigers get a break there, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 walks, 1 left.
delayed steal or not, but that's exactly what it looked like. He took a couple of really aggressive secondary steps, and then he broke for second and stopped. Usually in the situation when you're going to run delayed steal, you just keep going. Therefore, Jaso, who was on third base, he was basically forced into running himself into an out, even though he was already standing in scoring position. That's a poor decision by Longoria. Or if it came from the bench, I don't know.
Well, we'll go to the top of the second in a scoreless ball game. So Sanchez able to pitch out of trouble with a little bit of help. It'll be J.D. Martinez to lead things off. Martinez, Castellanos, and Vila facing Nathan Carnes. Tigers went 1-2-3 in the first inning. J.D. looks at a ball up high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And one of the things the Tigers will try to do here today, they will try to jump on the fastballs that Carnes throws them. They know that he has an outstanding breaking ball, and that's a pitch you usually don't hit unless he hangs it.
High fly ball left field, not deep. Coming in is De Jesus. So 3 fly ball outs already for Carnes.
The curveball is such a plus pitch for him because he throws the fastball and the curveball out of the same window. And as a hitter, you see fastball come out of his hand, and that's got a pretty good break to it. You can see J.D. Martinez on the 74-mile-per-hour heater. Couldn't stay back long enough to hit it right off the end of the bat. A lot of flyouts already in this ball game tonight.
We'll bring up Castellanos. 3 out of the 4 outs have come via the fly ball. Nick sends a ground ball to short. It's gobbled up there by Beckham. And there are 2 gone. 5 up, 5 down against Carnes. Here is Avila. First and only visit to Tropicana Field this year. First time these 2 teams have met in 2015. Avila was 1 for 8 in the series in Boston. Quite a bit of difference in atmosphere when you come to Fenway Park to the Trop.
That's right.
Carnes stays outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
You really have to gear up as a player when you play in this venue. It's not hard to do when you go to Fenway Park in Boston, where you have 40,000 people. They're into the game. Here it's tough to get the fans into the game.
Singing Sweet Caroline out
there. Yeah, they were.
Gibby was actually making fun of me in the booth for singing along.
They were singing it loud too.
Yeah, they were. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Alex Avila trying to get something going here with 2 outs in the second. Carnes is a 27-year-old rookie, 6'3", 225 out of Franklin, Pennsylvania. Way outside.
He has made a total of 14 starts this year where he has given up 2 earned runs or less, which is second in the American League. He is tied with Sonny Gray and his own teammate Chris Archer. I mean, that is some special company.
Rays have a pretty good staff. They typically do. That's fouled straight back.
Felix Hernandez has 15 starts this year where he has given up 2 earned runs or less. This guy's a rookie, so he's pitching very well.
Yeah, they got Odorizzi tomorrow. His ERA is 2.85, and then we'll see Chris Archer on Wednesday.
We're seeing their best, and they're seeing our best 3.
Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball back to the mound. Avila will be retired 1-3 to end the inning. Tigers go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the second. Well, Sanchez been on quite a run. His last 8 starts, a 7-0 record. Opponents are batting just .218 against him.
And the ERA sits just a shade over 3.
And he'll go back to work here in the second after giving up 2 walks and a wild pitch, but no runs in that first inning.
I don't know how this game's going to shake out, but if Tampa ends up losing this game, there's no doubt they'll look back to that first inning and the fact that they could not push a run across the board, even though Sanchez clearly was struggling.
1 ball, 1 strike on Logan Forsythe. He was at the dish when Jaso was eventually tagged out coming down the line at third. That'll miss high. 2 balls, 1 strike.
A total of 27 pitches thrown so far by Sanchez, and he's missed the strike zone with 15 of those, only 12 strikes.
It's hit hard to left, base hit. Leadoff single for Forsythe. Second straight inning. The Rays have gotten the leadoff man out.
It's also imperative for Sanchez to get ahead with strike 1. When he gets ahead of the opposing hitters, his numbers are way better, and I mean way better than when he falls behind. So that's something that he really needs to concentrate on here. The batting average, 202 when he gets ahead, 325 when the count starts off, 1 ball, no strikes. 4th largest difference in baseball.
There was Steven Souza Jr. Batting just 203, but he has power. 15 home runs for Souza Jr. Forsythe back in there.
And Kevin Cash, the rookie manager of the Tampa Bay Rays, a former catcher himself, and he knows that Anibal Sanchez has struggled keeping base runners from stealing second this year. No doubt guys that can run will probably be on the move today.
There's a bullet to third, and they won't get the double play, but heads up play there by Castellanos. 1 out. Bring up Kevin Kiermaier. Well, the Tigers got to Tampa last night about 5 a.m. after playing that game, the night game last night at Fenway Park, and Sanchez went ahead. He was on an earlier flight during the day, so he got here very early yesterday, which is something most teams will do. Instead of having Sanchez come on the team flight, got a little bit more sleep.
I'm sure he appreciated that.
Showing bunt, and he'll bail out. 1 ball, no strikes.
It's a nice hotel that we stay out here in St. Petersburg, and generally speaking during the day you'll see some guys out with their family around the pool, but you didn't see any of that today. Of course it was raining, but at the same time I'm sure guys are getting some sleep getting ready for tonight's game.
You do know that hotel is haunted, right?
Well, that's what they say, but I haven't seen any ghosts yet. How about you?
No, I haven't. I've heard about them though. 1-0 the count on Kiermaier. Swing and a miss.
Kiermaier is a tremendous defender in center field, one of the best center fielders in all of baseball, and I mean that literally, but boy, the bat just hasn't come yet for him. He's hitting just above 200 right now.
He is a former 31st round pick that has made it to the big leagues. That'll miss inside. 2-1. Ten of his last 20 hits are for extra bases. Beckham waiting on deck. Off the end of the bat, foul. And the count levels now. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I think a lot of us were really surprised early in the season when Tampa got off to a pretty good start, despite trading away a lot of their players the last couple of years and a young roster, young manager. But Kevin Cash had them competing very well the first couple of months of the season.
Yeah, rookie manager as well. Pitching has been a strength for them, there's no doubt. They were 40-30 at one point. Another throw back.
And Cash played for Terry Francona, the manager of the Cleveland Indians, and he also coached for Francona. He played for him in Boston, and he coached for him in Cleveland. And he says that Terry Francona taught him a lot about everyday managerial skills, how to deal with the media, how to get around and talk to the players, to take their temperature day after day to see who's doing well, keep guys informed when you might want to give them a day off.
Well, I think that's critically important as you look at the youth of Kevin Cash and how it stacks up in all the other major sports among coaches and managers. Because managing is much more than just the X's and O's on the field.
No doubt about that.
And you talked about the taking temperature of the players, and when you have a long season, you really, that I think becomes critical.
Dealing with the media twice a day, before the game, after the game.
Two balls and two strikes. Of course, Brad Ausmus in his second year now with the Tigers has gotten a little bit more comfortable. He took over for Jim Leland.
Yeah, both guys really had no major league experience as far as managing, or minor league experience as managing, before getting these major league jobs.
Little chopper to first, foul.
Starting to see that a little bit more often. Mike Matheny of the Cardinals, also with no managerial experience.
You know, the good thing for Brad is the guy right there on his right, and that's Gene Lamont, because he's able to bounce a lot of things off of Gino. Some he will take advice on, and some he'll make his own opinions on. But it's always nice to have that sounding board.
Gino's been in the game for a long time, for half a century.
Former manager of the year. Again, the 2-2. High and outside, 3-2 on Kiermaier. Well, so far Sanchez has been able to pitch around the trouble, but Rod, he can't continue this pace.
Well, he's not going to get his double plays either unless this ball's hit on the line, because he continues to throw. There's so many balls, and now the base runner, he'll be running again.
There he goes, and it's popped up foul back out of play.
You have to make something happen earlier in the count. Therefore, you can keep your double play in order, and without Forsythe being able to vacate first base.
Here's what we're talking about. This cannot continue. I mean, it's almost a 50-50 proposition now. About to throw number 38 on the night to Kiermaier. He's batting .247. Runner goes again, and it's lifted in the air. Left side, Cespedes on the run. Kiermaier is out, 2 away. By the way, stay tuned for Tigers Live. Following the game, we'll select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by McDonald's Big Mac and 10-piece Big Nuggets. Gonna bring out Tim Beckham. Beckham at .232 has 5 home runs this year. Takes ball 1 again.
And Rays might get some help at the shortstop position the next couple of days. Asdrubal Cabrera, who was playing very good baseball for them at shortstop, quality at bats, and good defensively, is due to possibly show up in this series off the disabled list.
Now the 1-0. 2-0 on Beckham. Sanchez walked 2 in the first. He's given up a single, but has walked or has fallen behind a lot of hitters here in the second as well. Now Beckham getting dialed in for a 2-0 pitch. Sanchez has not taken a loss since early June. There's another one that missed, and the count goes 3-0. But you were talking about how the Tigers bullpen has been so beaten up in that they've thrown a lot of innings. This is maybe one of the last things that Brad wanted to see here.
Yeah, we talked about Sanchez at the top of our show today. In his last 11 starts, in 10 of those he pitched into the 7th inning.
And there's the strike. Beckham thought he had a walk. Sanchez has gone first pitch strike on just 2 of 9 batters the first time through the lineup.
Yeah, and that's why that graphic that we put up last half inning, or at the beginning of this inning, on Sanchez first pitch strikes and when he falls behind, is so crucial for him.
Runner goes and is popped up right side of the infield for Kinsler. And that'll end the inning. No runs. They get a hit and leave a man. Tigers baseball tonight presented by Bell Tire. Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Coming to Comerica. By Chrysler, enjoy your summer in style with great deals at the Chrysler Summer Clearance Event. And by Hot Pockets, irresistibly hot. It has been rainy here for the last couple of days, hasn't it?
It really has. Since we got here yesterday afternoon, it rained most of the afternoon, rained most of the day today as well.
First one is fouled back out of play by Jose Iglesias.
And when it stops raining, boy, does it get hot.
That it does. And because of the rain today, you missed my header that I took coming into the ballpark.
No.
I slipped, man.
Did you really?
Phone went one way, the bag went the other way.
You better call Mr. Bernstein.
It's not a bad idea. Here's the 0-1 to Iglesias. He fouls it off 0-2.
You think he's got a license to practice down here in Florida?
I don't know. I might have to call him.
Yeah, you have to call Mr. Bernstein.
Oh, man.
But you're here in the starting lineup today, so way to go.
Yeah, a little bit achy, but I'm all right. Romine and then goes to follow. And that's fouled off again. Iglesias 2 out of 11 in the series against the Boston Red Sox. Still a very solid .319 this year. Romine on deck, getting the start at first base tonight. Swinging another foul. He just got a hold of that one.
And speaking of first base, Miguel Cabrera still with the team, still moving around, still looks like he's a ways away, but starting to do some baseball activity, so that's always a positive sign.
I'm starting to think, and I think Brad thinks the same thing, it's going to be closer to 6 weeks than 8 weeks, and that's good news. Iglesias thought about it, but held back 1-2.
The only thing with Miguel, Brad's going to have to face with a very difficult decision, because Miggy probably will need to DH a couple of days when he comes back, and he doesn't have that luxury because they have an everyday DH in Victor.
Chopped to third base, Longoria. 1 out. Yeah, it's a good point. But we'll get to that, I guess, when we get to that.
Yeah. Taking some batting practice today. As he always does, he starts off by driving the ball the other way, but later on, while he was taking batting practice, he was hitting some balls into the seats. Brad, Dave Dombrowski, Gene Lamont, all watching Miguel.
Here's Romine. Well, you may look at that video and you might say, well, he looks pretty good to me, but there's a difference between hitting in the cage and the stops and starts that, you know, something that is inherent to the game of baseball, the quick stops and the quick starts. and that's something they have to be careful with. But it's good that at least he's getting the cage, taking his swings, taking ground balls at first base. So the comeback path has at least been forged by Cabrera.
Also helps Miggy to keep himself somewhat in shape, along with riding the bike and working on the treadmill.
And there is strike called on Romine.
Strikes to balls ratio for Carnes outstanding. He's thrown a total of 28. 19 of those have hit the strike zone. He looks very poised out there. He looks every bit as good as everyone said he would look here today. There's that outstanding breaking ball that he throws as well.
2 gone. And with some more on some news now on Shane Green, we check in with John Keating.
Yeah, Mario, there was news today. Shane Green, obviously, as all Tiger fans know, has been going through a tough stretch, and it couldn't continue. And so the decision was made today that Green will go to the bullpen and try to fix some things out there. He'll face largely right-handed batters. The Tigers can control whom he faces, and hopefully that will sort of get his confidence up. And so coming out of the bullpen, just called up, is Buck Farmer, and he will make his start this incarnation as a Tiger on Friday night. So Farmer, as long as he has some success, will be the guy who takes Green's spot in the rotation.
And that's coming up in Baltimore. Thanks, Keats. Here's a line drive hit to the left fielder, straight it to Jesus, and it's another 1-2-3 for Carnes. 9 up, 9 down against the Rays righty. Enough here to tweet your strongest fan photo using hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Back inside the Trop where there is an area raindrop. It'll be Kirk Casale to start things off for the Rays. Casale, Jeso de Jesus. Driven deep in the air to left field. That ball is hit way back. Oh my goodness. Gone. Kirk Casale.
He was put in the starting lineup tonight by the manager Kevin Cash because the team has been struggling from an offensive standpoint, and boy does he make the manager look good.
And another home run given up by Anibal Sanchez. He's given up a ton this year.
22 home runs given up by Anibal Sanchez. That's a fastball that's belt buckle high at about 90 miles an hour. That's right down the middle. Actually, it appears to be a changeup, but had fastball action. 15 of the 22 home runs that Anibal Sanchez has given up have been solo shots, if that makes you breathe a little easier.
Right back to the mound, and Jeso is out of there, 1 gone. It was hit so high I thought it might catch one of the catwalks up there and left, but it did not. Here's De Jesus. David had his bat shattered his first time up. He ended up grounding out 3 unassisted. Homer number 4 for Casale, the former Tigers farmhand. In there for a strike, 0-1.
That was a fastball that Casale hit out of the ballpark at 87 miles an hour. I don't know if there is something going on with Sanchez, but fastballs for him usually 93, 94, on occasion 95.
Well, I was going to say something in the first inning because I noticed a couple of his fastballs were 91, and I thought, well, maybe he's just getting heated up. But that last one certainly has not had the velocity that he has had. A career high 22 home runs allowed this year.
Only 13 in 308 innings in 2013 and 14. So the home run numbers are way up this year for Anibal.
And again, earlier in the game, Kevin Rand came out along with Brad Ausmus and Alex Avila. They all went out to the mound thinking there might be something wrong with Sanchez. That's pulled foul.
That's a good changeup there at the bottom of the strike zone. He was able to finish that pitch to David DeJesus. Great location with it. They're watching him very closely, Jeff Jones along with Brad Ausmus.
Chopper back up the middle. They haven't played nicely, though. Iglesias is there, and DeJesus is out. Here's the ratio through 50 pitches. Only 27 strikes for Anibal. Here's Longoria. He walked in the first inning. Ball one, dips low. Longoria homered in their loss yesterday to the Orioles. A 5-2 loss here against Baltimore. Another team that right now is in the thick of things as far as the wild card is concerned. And I'm telling you, man, this second wild card is really going to add a lot of interest.
Well, you have a lot of teams that otherwise would be sellers that are thinking about buying because of the second wild card.
Swing and a miss.
I've even heard some rumors that the commissioner is thinking about pushing back the trade deadline because of the second wild card and some of the issues it presents in decision making for some of the front offices.
What do you think about that, by the way?
I don't agree with it.
You don't?
Nope. I don't like it.
It's in the air toward left center field. That ball is looking like trouble, and it is. That's going to be a double for Longoria. Ground rule, two-base hit with 2 outs.
And the reason I say that is it's been that way for so long. I think it just adds another dimension to the general managers and their front offices as to having to make a decision on the 31st of July.
It certainly adds to the intrigue. Ball is muscled out there to left center.
But I can also get where people might want to see it, you know, maybe go to August 15th or something, because we have had some changes with the wild card, now the second wild card. So yeah, maybe it's something that you do.
And that's the way I'm going to go. I think that you adapt, because certainly this is something new to baseball. So maybe we should adapt and perhaps push it back at least a week. Loney looks at a ball inside. James Loney flied out to right field with a runner at third and less than 2 outs in the first, but not deep enough to score the run. Here's the 1-0. Bounce again, good block of Avila.
And James Loney batting .253. He's always been an outstanding defender down at first base. And not much of a power hitter, but he's a good baseball player.
Longoria has doubled with 2 outs. Loney trying to plate him. And again, another hitter's count for a Rays batter. Sliced foul out of play. 2-1. Waiting on deck. Forsythe. High fly ball again, slicing away from Cespedes. Will he get there? Had to climb that mound in foul territory.
Man, that can present some problems, and Cespedes not happy about having to run over the mound. There's only a couple ballparks in baseball. In San Francisco, Chicago still have the Oakland still have the mounds in play. You can get hurt. I mean, you're running full speed, and all of a sudden you're running up a hill, then back down a hill.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Loney is out of there, and that'll retire the side. However, the home run by Casale makes it 1-0 Rays. All right, Johnny, thanks. We're in the fourth inning here. It is 1-0 in favor of the Rays, as Nathan Carnes has done well, about as well as he can. 9 up, 9 down. Now to the top of the order, it'll be Kinsler, Cespedes, and Victor Martinez facing the talented right-hander.
Well, second time around for Tigers batters.
Ooh, knocked down by Longoria. What a play as one hop throw is in time.
Incredible play by Longoria.
Wow.
An absolute seed. One step knocks it down, and then he's able to recover. And not only recover, but he throws the ball while the right knee is still on the ground, and he bounces it over to Loney accurately. That is a big league play.
What if that's grass instead of turf? Do you think they still get him?
Yeah, I think so, because I was looking at Kinsler after he threw that ball, and I'm thinking, well, he's going to be close to first base. And when the ball got in Loney's glove, it still looked like Kinsler had a few feet to go.
Strike called on Cespedes.
But that was the first thing that came to my mind after he knocked it down and then went over to the one knee. I said, well, he has a chance to beat it out. And then I looked up, and he wasn't close.
Yoenis fly to center field in his first at bat.
I didn't get a chance to finish my thought on the fact that this is the first time they've seen Carnes, and the first time through the lineup. Many guys really didn't have an idea of what he is featuring, so hopefully second time around they can figure out some things against him.
Ripped right up the middle, but how about that for a scouting job?
They've hit two balls right on the screws. Nothing to show for it.
Two gone. Well, the 10th annual Fiesta Tigres is August 8th when the Tigers battle Boston Red Sox at 7:08. First 10,000 fans 21 and older receive a free Tigres hat. 866-66-TIGER. Visit tigers.com for more info. Speaking of the Red Sox, they have dealt away Shane Victorino.
The Flying Hawaiian, where's he going?
Flying Hawaiian's flying all the way to the West Coast to the Angels.
Okay.
The Angels needed some, well, they needed another bat. A little help in the outfield. Matt Joyce has struggled there. There's a ball inside to Victor Martinez. I think in the next couple of days, really going to start to heat up now with guys moving. Trading deadline, what, 4 days away? Here's the 1-0 pitch. I'm reminded that now in California, he is closer to Hawaii than a Flying Hawaiian.
Well, good for him. So only got to take one plane to get home now.
That's right. 2-0 on Victor. Way high. 3 balls, no strikes.
Yeah, Victor, if he wants to do so, can pick out a fastball from Carnes, and there's no question he has the green light. Now, whether he swings or not, it remains to be seen.
He does want to swing, and he rips one to right field. Going to get down up against the wall. It's going to be a long single for Victor Martinez, and the Tigers have their first hit.
Victor, when he gets himself in predictable fastball counts, when he knows beyond a shadow of a doubt he's going to get the fastball, he opens up those hips nicely, and when he does it just right, the ball comes off of his bat and it makes a very loud sound. And what a really nice swing here by Victor.
First hit of the ball game for the Tigers tonight. 11 straight had been retired prior to that single.
Carnes is really lucky Victor didn't get underneath that one enough to hit it out of this ballpark.
JD flied out to left his first time. Popped up. Looks like it's going to stay in play. Let's see. It does, and it's caught by Loney. And just like that, the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. Tigers continue to trail tonight 1-0 as we go to the 5th, or the bottom of the 4th.
Evan Longoria and Forsythe, they went back to back in this ballpark, but those were the only 2 runs they scored in the contest, and this team continues to have a difficult time of scoring more than 4 runs. It's been like 13-14 games they have not scored more than 14 runs.
Well, in the first 70 games, they were 10 over, but they're 9-21 in their last 30 games. The run differential is frightening, a -43. Average at 220 in that stretch. They've just not been able to put points on the board, although they got one in the 3rd on the home run by Casale.
And so their last 3 runs have come courtesy of solo home runs.
Logan Forsythe leads it off. He had a single in the 2nd. We'll drive that one foul back out of play.
Logan stands right on top of the dish, his hands resting comfortably over the plate, which tells me he loves to hit the inside fastball.
Sanchez averaged nearly 20 pitches per inning in the first 3. Be nice for Hannibal to get a quick inning here. 1-2 on Forsythe. Steven Souza Jr. to follow, then Kevin Kiermaier. That'll bounce in. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Rays this year batting .237 as a club. That is last in the American League. They are second from last in runs scored as well. Here's the 2-2. Forsythe came in swinging a pretty good bat. .385 since the All-Star break. Now the 2-2 offering. High, 3 balls and 2 strikes, and yet another 3-ball count for Sanchez. This time after he had gotten ahead. Souza Jr. waiting on deck. Got him, strike 3. Knew it. Forsythe is out of there. 1 gone.
I don't know what Logan was looking for. 3 balls and 2 strikes, but a fastball that basically splits the plate that he watches go by. That's why it's not a good idea to guess when you have 2 strikes on you.
Bad things can happen like that. Here is Steven Souza Jr. He lined out sharply to the third baseman Castellanos. Bender missing outside. 1-0. 2 for his last 20 now is Souza Jr. Average of .203. That's ripped toward left center field. It's going to hit the dirt and go all the way to the gap in the wall. Something jumped off the turf and just kicked up whatever is below the turf. And now it's a 2-base hit. The second double of the night. Second double in as many innings for the Rays.
Pretty good swing by Souza Jr. And a batting average at .203 coming into play today. He's got a lot of power, and the ball comes off his bat. And very nicely.
Rays have their 4th hit, trying to extend their 1-0 lead. There's Kiermaier. Kiermaier fly to left his only time up. 0 for 1. That dart's low and away. Changeup outside. 1-0. Mentioned that Kiermaier was a 31st round draft choice and got to the big leagues. I guess really, Rod, the only way you can do that is you have to impress early and often. And he hit 300 his rookie year in pro ball.
That always helps. And by hitting 300 your first year in pro ball, that will probably get you to instructional league. And that's where all the prospects come after the season's over. And that brings down all the coaches. That brings down all the instructors, all the rovers. So you put yourself on the map that way, and then you continue to produce. And your minor league stops, and you find yourself in the big leagues. But first, you have to get in front of all the coaches.
Kiermaier waits on the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. He's had a tremendous season defensively, but Kiermaier is also leading the majors with 10 triples. Despite the low batting average.
He can fly.
He's sitting on a 2-0 here. Slice it in the air toward left center field. That ball's going to drop, base hit. Cespedes gets it. They're going to try and score the run. Throw is cut off to second base, safe.
It's a bad decision by Cespedes. You got to throw that ball to second base. He was not going to throw out. Souza Jr. at home plate.
Kiermaier gets an RBI, and it's 2-0 Tampa Bay.
Right now, Cespedes has got to be thinking, I'm not going to throw him out, so why throw the ball home? I've got to throw the ball to second to keep the double play in order. Kiermaier never stopped.
No.
He paused momentarily.
Here is the number 8 hitter, Tim Beckham. 20th double of the year for Kiermaier. It produces a run here. Swing and a miss by Beckham. Quick throw back, and the tag by Kinsler just a little bit late. Beckham popped up in his first at bat. And the Rays now put up 5 hits against Sanchez.
Got to watch Kiermaier very closely out at second base. He is 5 of 7 in career steals of third.
One ball, one strike. Back-to-back doubles here by Souza Jr. and Kiermaier. The 1-1. He laid off the breaking ball. 2-1 the count. Kurt Casale waiting on deck. Beckham, unlike Kiermaier, was a big-time prospect, #1 overall back in 2008. Had to come back from an injury 2 years ago, a torn ACL, which slowed his progress. Sanchez about to throw his 75th pitch, and we're only in the 4th. Strike call. 2-2 on Beckham. '24 pitch first inning. Here's the 2-2. Fought that one off back to the screen. Beckham, when he was drafted, was the #1 rated high school prospect coming out of the 2008 draft. I mean, this kid was considered a 5-tool player, the best high school player in that draft. Had a slow move through the minor league system for the Rays, but then, as we said, tore his ACL, and that slowed him down further. Another one fought off.
Usually takes the high school players a little bit longer to mature. And when they're drafted very high out of high school, it's a big difference from the guys that go to college, guys that play at a really good university for 3 years.
Like Pedro Alvarez, who was selected after Beckham was chosen in that draft. Eric Hosmer went after him as well. Buster Posey, some big names. Swing and a miss. Down he goes.
Let's take a look at the big boy, big play of the game. Last time up, Casale got himself a fastball at 87 miles an hour. It was the 3rd inning. It was right around the belt buckle, and he didn't miss it. Put Tampa on the board first with a long home run. 22nd home run surrendered this year by Anibal.
Casale now with 6 RBIs, trying to drive in another here with 2 outs. Ball 1. Casale was traded from the Tigers to the Rays. In return, the Tigers got Kyle Lobstein, and I saw the lobber in the in the locker room today. He said he threw a 60-pitch bullpen, and he said it felt great.
He's getting close, huh?
That's really good news. Yeah, he's getting close.
He's been gone for a while.
Hopefully the Tigers can get his arm back, because before he went on the DL, he was pitching pretty well. Way outside, 2-0 on Casale.
Yeah, there's been a lot of action between Toledo and the Tigers as far as pitchers coming up and down from those two respective places.
Lobstein, 8 starts this year before going on the disabled list. On the comeback trail. Another 2-0 count for Sanchez. And that's fouled back out of play. 2-1 on Casale. Kurt was called up from the minor leagues on June 13th. He is also a Vanderbilt product, as is David Price. Missed it away, and now the count is 3-1. Runner is Kiermaier. He's doubled in a run in this inning. Strike call. That'll fill it now. 3-2. Sanchez about to throw his 25th pitch of this 4th inning. 2-0. Rays have the lead. He went around, it appeared. Yes, he did. Strike 3 call. That'll end the inning. 4 strikeouts for Sanchez, but a couple of doubles in the inning. Souza Jr. and Kiermaier, and his 2-0 Rays. Official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit. Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price period. Bell Tire. Myers, save big with M-Perks from Myers. Sign up at mperks.com. And by Chevrolet, find new roads. You are looking live outside of Tropicana Field, where nighttime is starting to settle in. Rainy afternoon here today in the Tampa St. Pete area. 2-0 in favor of the Rays. As we go to the 5th inning, it'll be Nick Castellanos to lead things off against Nathan Carnes. And Carnes has done a marvelous job of keeping the Tigers on balance so far. Only 1 hit, a single by Victor in the 4th. Castellanos bounced out his first time up. And Nick looks at a ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He is 10 of 14 in first pitch strikes so far tonight, is Carnes, and he has thrown half as many pitches as Anibal Sanchez has thrown here tonight.
Amazing.
Anibal's thrown 84. He has just thrown 42.
High fly ball, right field playable. Steven Souza Jr. 1 out. Carnes came into this game with 103 punchouts, which was more than any other American League rookie.
And 44 of the 103 have come on his curveball. He has an outstanding curveball, and he loves to finish hitters off with that pitch. And the 1 strikeout he has here today came on his curveball.
And he's got Avila now. That was Romine back in the 3rd, the only strikeout he's had. Avila tapped right back to the mound his first time up. Ball 1 high to Avila.
You can tell that he really doesn't have a great feel for the changeup. That last changeup, you can really see the arm speed slow down. And he basically telegraphed that pitch to Avila. Mostly fastballs and curveballs. That's what he's comfortable with throwing.
Well, he came out of the Nationals organization. In fact, was the Nationals minor league pitcher of the year in 2012 when he won 11 ball games and had an ERA of just over 2. Breaking ball there was a good one. 1 and 2.
They've always had really good pitching here in Tampa, whether it's guys they've drafted very high, whether it's the deals that they make, the players that they get back that are pitchers usually turn out to be really good ones. There's a changeup again.
And Avila took it for a ball outside. 1-2.
He threw that one a little bit harder, so the arm speed was a little bit better. Sold that one a little bit more.
Swings right through the fastball at 92 miles an hour. 2 gone. That is the 2nd strikeout.
And previous pitch was a changeup at 86, and he comes back with a low 90s heater that Avila just couldn't catch up to.
There's Iglesias. Ball 1 inside. Carnes went 5 scoreless innings in his last start against the Phillies. He also homered in that game, and it turned out to be the only run scored in that game. That's in there, a strike call.
Yeah, I was reading something on that. I think that's like only the 6th time in the history that a pitcher is homered and it'd be the only run in a game.
Yeah, an AL pitcher. Here's the 1-1. Flared back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Iglesias. Romine waiting on deck. Tigers down by a pair as we play here in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss to strike him out, and Iglesias will end the inning with the 3rd strikeout of the game for Carnes.
That's that nasty curveball.
Tigers baseball tonight on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Rays on top 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning out here at Tropicana Field. It'll be the top of the order coming up against Anibal Sanchez. It'll be Jaso, DeJesus, and Longoria against the Tigers righty. Jaso with a ground out, a walk. 0 for 1 officially, batting .327 now, John Jaso. And Sanchez gets one in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jaso looks at a ball low.
We've seen Jaso quite a bit over the years, whether it be with Tampa, whether it be with the Oakland Athletics, and I don't remember this stance. Mario, do you?
No, that's why I brought it up early on. It just seemed odd. I didn't recall it. He's been a pretty decent hitter in the major leagues. They've also expanded his role a little bit. They had him playing some outfield. Typically been a catcher DH type.
It's almost like the right foot is directly behind the left foot when he starts.
And I wonder how you fall into a stance like this. I mean, what are the advantages, do you think, in his mind of doing this?
You know what? Without talking to him, the only thing that comes to mind for me is the fact that he has spent some time on the disabled list, and he maybe just was tinkering with some stuff while he was out.
Up and in. 3-2.
And Sanchez can go a couple different ways here. It appears that his changeup and fastball are the 2 pitches that he trusted the most here this evening. We'll see if he wants to throw a changeup here to Jaso. 3-2. That's exactly what he threw.
So Sanchez now has gone to the full count already 5 times in this game. Rays got a run in each of the last 2 innings. They lead 2-0. Lifted foul again. Most that Sanchez has thrown in a game this year, 117. He's done it twice against the Angels in LA and against Toronto at home. High towering fly ball to center field. And then he goes under it. Jaso retired, 1 gone. And with more on the return of David Price to Tampa St. Peter's, Keats.
Yeah, the trade deadline is Friday, Mario, so that means it'll be an interesting week again for David Price. He's well aware of the speculation that surrounds him, and as he comes back to his former home ballpark, it's exactly what he went through last year. He had no idea he was going to become a Tiger this time last year. When asked how he'd like to see it play out, he said the Tigers win a World Series and I would help. Who knows whether that's in the cards for David Price or not going forward.
We shall know soon. Thanks, Heath. Appreciate it. I mean, that's obviously what David wants. I think he feels comfortable here in Detroit. It's certainly it's a good ball club that has not played up to expectations.
David also said that he really does not want to change uniforms again mid-season. He said it was so difficult getting to learn the parking lot attendants and the clubhouse kids and just everybody. He's so big in relationships. He said when he was talking to the media today that it takes a while to build those relationships, and he kind of felt lost last year when he was traded to Detroit because everything was so unfamiliar to him.
Here's the 1-1.
This much we do know about David Price. After this year is over with, whether he is traded or not, he will be able to go and play wherever he wants to play for the next number of years.
And the suitors will be lining up. An elite talent who's had another really good season for the Tigers. Shattered bat, scoop toward third. Castellanos on the bare hand had no shot. It's the second time tonight DeJesus has lost a bat.
Well, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. That ball cued right off the end of the bat by DeJesus, and Castellanos had him shaded about 5 feet off the third baseline. Came in barehanded, but and not able to throw DeJesus out. He runs too well.
It'll bring up Longoria. Double and a walk for Longoria. It'll be the 6th hit of the evening now for the Rays. In there for strike one. Longoria's had much better splits at home than he has on the road. He's a .302 hitter here at the Trop. .265 overall. Sanchez has yet to have a 1-2-3 inning. Ripped down the left field line, foul. And Longoria will check the bat. 0-2 the count.
I can't remember whether it was Sanchez's last start or 2 starts ago where we both noticed that he really didn't have his best stuff, but yet he was able to go out there and compete and still kind of win in the game despite not having his premium stuff. Was it Baltimore or Seattle in that start? You remember?
I'm trying to remember. I know in Seattle he gave up, or against Seattle, gave up 4 runs. I think it was the Baltimore start. It was 2 starts ago that you're talking about. He just really seemed to fight himself.
Here is our high-speed pitch, and it is brought to you by Xfinity. 93 top fastballs so far thrown by Anibal Sanchez in this game. And 71 would be a breaking ball.
Runner goes. Popped him up. Right side of the infield. Gonna have to really quickly get back, and De Jesus did. He had to sprint back to the bag. 2 outs.
And we told you earlier that when you come here and balls are hit up into the air because of the roof, you never take your eye off of it. Romine did not take his eye off that ball. You'll see outfielders running. They won't take their eye off the ball here. And the ball getting over the bag just in case De Jesus didn't get back.
The only other park recently that had that issue obviously was the Metrodome in Minneapolis, where you really could not afford to take your eyes off of it.
Yeah.
Kingdome, a few years back in the mid-90s. Those ballparks have gone by the wayside. It's kind of a busy roof here as well. Catwalks, light standards, and a slice left side, base hit. James Loney goes the other way, and that'll advance De Jesus to second.
They're playing Loney to pull in the infield, and they throw him a fastball that is 92 away from him, and he simply goes the other way and somewhat beats the shift.
So Forsythe now, first and second, 2 outs. Single and a strikeout. That is pulled into left, base hit. Cespedes charging. Here comes the runner home. Here comes the throw. He is saved at home plate. A single and RBI for Logan Forsythe, scoring De Jesus.
Even though Cespedes has a very strong throwing arm in the outfield, De Jesus challenged Cespedes, and the throw was off the line just a hair, and that allowed him to get in safely. Outstanding pick by Avila, who nearly got back to apply the tag, but that's a really good call by Ed Hickox, the home plate umpire.
So here is Jeff Jones out to the mound. The Tigers now will start to stir in the bullpen very quickly, I might add. Albuquerque and Kroll warming up in the Detroit bullpen. Three hits here in the 5th inning, another run in. Forsythe gets his 42nd RBI. 3-0 Tampa Bay. Double run scored for Steven Souza Jr. That's in for a strike, 0-1. Souza came in 0 for 11, broke an 0 for 12 with a double in his second at bat. Foul tip into the glove. 0-2 now on Souza Jr. So Sanchez is over the 100 mark, and we're only in the 5th inning. Swing and a miss. And Avila got hit. That'll be it for the Rays. A strikeout for Sanchez. That'll be his 5th. Another run in for Tampa Bay. And it's now 3-0 Rays.
Told you that Nathan Carnes homered his last outing when he was pitching in Philadelphia. It was the only run scored in the game between the two teams. Hit that home run against Aaron Nola, who was making his major league debut.
So Carnes goes back to work as we head to the 6th inning, and Romine leads it off for the Tigers.
He's been carving up a pretty good offensive team in Detroit, making it look rather easy.
Romine goes Kinsler facing the right-hander. Swing and a miss again.
Fastball's up at 91, an occasional changeup, but by and large this curveball is the pitch that he likes to go to, especially in this count. Here it comes.
Did not go. So says Paul Nart down at third base, the crew chief, by the way. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carnes, pretty good football player in high school as well as baseball. In fact, he was a linebacker in football.
Really, a linebacker?
Linebacker, and he went to high school in Arlington, Texas. So, you know, it's pretty good football down there.
Usually pitchers are quarterbacks.
Yeah, not linebackers. Here's the 1-2. Wouldn't chase it. 2-2. Ghost will follow, and then Kinsler. Slap foul.
It's a nice job right there by Romine. That's a breaking ball that started off the plate, thrown by Carnes, but Romine didn't give up on it, knowing that that breaking ball has a tremendous amount of break to it. Stayed with it, able to foul it off. Nice piece of hitting by Romine.
Broken bat up the middle, going to be a tough play. Beckham got him.
Ooh, look out, Beckham.
Man,
they've been flashing some leather here tonight. Real nice play by Longoria. Outstanding play here by the youngster Beckham. The only play he had was the barehanded. And it also helps that you know that that ball is rolling on that artificial carpet, and you're not going to get any bad hops. Even if you do decide to come in and barehanded, you're going to get a true bounce. Or true roll, I guess I should say.
well, they've been playing really poor defense recently over the last 3 weeks or so. In fact, this month here in July, but they've been flashing leather, as you say, tonight. Ghost looks at a strike.
One thing Ghost has been getting a steady diet of as his batting average has perked up. He's been getting a lot of curveballs, lots of changeups, lots of sliders.
Ball low, 1-1 strike on Ghost. Here comes the bender. Chopper back to the mound. Carnes has retired 2 here in the 6th. That'll bring up Kinsler. Got some activity now in the bullpen for the Rays. That is right-hander Steven Geltz. Rays bullpen has thrown a lot of innings this year. In fact, they've thrown the most innings. They also have the most saves. And it seems like every time we come here to Tampa, Jim Hickey's got himself a really good bullpen.
And it's guys that have struggled other places,
right,
or struggled in the minor leagues, but somehow he gets them fixed.
Ripped foul right back into the Tiger bullpen.
Underrated as a pitching coach. He was here when Joe Madden was the manager, and his pitchers have done great work, and not just the David Prices and the Chris Archers and the James Shields. He's gotten the most out of a lot of guys down there.
0-2 on Ian Kinsler. Buried a breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2.
When I got my start as a coach back in '92 with the Florida Marlins, we shared a complex in Kissimmee, Florida, with the Houston Astros, and it was in extended spring, and Jim Hickey was the pitching coach for the Astros that year. Manny Acta was the manager.
Really? I think Manny Acta will get a chance to manage again.
It's kind of hard to say.
It's been a few years now.
Yeah, his name really hasn't come up. I know he's doing some television work now, but there was a time where he was very highly thought of as a star manager in the making.
Again, the 1-2. High fly ball, right field line, cruising over is Souza Jr. And he makes the catch and holds on. Another 1-2-3 inning for Nathan Carnes.
Bank game summary. Casale was put in there, so they needed some offense, and he showed up in the 3rd inning with a solo shot. Then they were able to score runs in the 4th and 5th inning on doubles to drive in a couple more runs, and that's where we sit. 3-0 Tampa ahead of the Tigers.
Sanchez goes back to work, and a big swing and a miss by Kiermaier. It'll be the bottom three: Kiermaier, Beckham, and Casale. 3 runs tonight. 8 hits for the Rays. No runs, just 1 hit for the Tigers, who had only 3 hits in the loss last night in Boston. Not a good swing there by Kiermaier, and the count is 0-2. Doubled in a run, also has a fly ball out in this game, 1 for 2. Sanchez darts one low and away. Haven't really been paying too much attention tonight, but have you noticed any fastballs from Sanchez in the 94 range?
Nope, he hadn't gotten up there yet. 93 and below, and he hasn't gotten to 93 all that often. He threw a fastball at 87 here tonight, which is unusual for Anibal.
Now the 1-2. Rays and Tigers came in a big series for both teams. The Rays have not been playing well, and obviously neither have the Tigers, but they're still both very much in the wild card race, with still 2 months to go in this season. Fouled back.
Bullpen has been taxed in the last 6 days. A lot of pitches thrown by everybody, really. And that's why they're trying to stretch at least one more inning out of Anibal Sanchez.
The 1-2. High and away, 2-2. Is there any concern on your part with guys like Wilson and Hardy, because they've been used a whole lot this year?
Yeah, there's some concern. They have been used a lot, and that's why it's going to be imperative if the Tigers going to do anything. Their starters have to go a little bit deeper, so Brad can pick and choose on days where he wants to use Wilson or use Blaine Hardy, because those guys have they've been out there a lot.
6 strikeouts now for Sanchez, who's trying to get him through the 6th. Yeah, they've been a weary bunch. Here comes Brad. You're going to bring in Albuquerque here, it appears. Al will come walking in, and that's going to be it for Anibal Sanchez. Well side windows, pitching change, 1 gone here in the 6th, and we'll be back. All right, Johnny, thanks. Here Albuquerque will take over now for the Tigers. And he's facing Tim Beckham with 1 out.
Albuquerque pitching in his 44th game this year. The ERA sits at 3.19, averaging nearly a strikeout per outing. Fastball gets up to 95. Outstanding slider, a couple different speeds, a couple different breaks as well.
Beckham is 0 for 2, pop-up strikeout. Pulled fair inside the bag at third. That'll be extra bases. The bang off the wall in left, and Beckham will go to second with a 1-out double.
And nothing Castellanos could do. He's about 5 feet off the line. And that ball hugging the line, and by the time Cespedes gets over to pick it up, and the youngster Beckham coasting into second.
That is the 4th double of the night for the Rays offense. And they also have the home run from Casale. Speaking of which, here is Kurt Casale. Ball 1 outside. Ian Kroll still tuning up in the Detroit bullpen. Nine hits now for Tampa Bay. It'll dive in there for a strike. 1-1.
How about the New York Mets? I mean, they're kind of going for it. They acquired a couple of infielders the other day, Uribe and Kelly Johnson. Today they get themselves another reliever in Clippard.
Well, they needed offense desperately. And I think Uribe had a game-winning hit the other day.
He did, against his former team he started the year with, the Dodgers.
Broken bat into left field, base hit. We'll see if they try and score him. Here comes Beckham. They're going to hold him. Ooh, Cespedes was ready to gun him down too. Well, there's a good reason why the Mets are going for it. National League East, they are 2 games behind Washington.
And their pitching staff, those youngsters, are outstanding. DeGrom, Harvey.
It's going to be it for Albuquerque, it appears. He faces 2 batters, gives up a double and a single. It'll put runners at first and third. Another wall side windows pitching change. Here comes Ian Kroll. For the Tigers.
Ian Kroll, 17 in the 3rd inning so far pitched this year. The ERA almost 6. 17 strikeouts, 10 walks. Fastball 93 to 95. He's got a real good curveball, an occasional changeup thrown by Kroll.
Got a pinch hitter now. It's going to be Joey Butler to pinch hit for John Jaso.
He is 0 for 2 this year as a pinch hitter.
Butler has power, 6 home runs, was called up in May from the minor leagues. And he takes ball 1 outside.
Check that. Butler is 2 for 12 as a pinch hitter this year.
Albuquerque came on, gave up a double to Beckham, a single to Casale. So they're on the bases right now with only 1 out.
Got some unique batting styles on this squad for sure.
There's a strike called, 1-1.
Butler awfully busy in that batter's box. Check him out. It's almost like a J-So from the right side.
A lot of moving parts. Whistled back out of play. So it's 1-2 now on Butler. Rays already lead 3-0 in this game.
And Tigers have turned 96 double plays this year. Something on the ground would get them 97.
Missed it inside.
Good pitch. You might as well double up and go back in there again. You know Butler's looking for something soft away. Another fastball inside might just get you strike 3, and Butler might not be able to get the bat off his shoulders. Nope, they're going to go with that breaking ball.
And he got him on strikes. Foul tip into the glove, so Butler strikes out as a pinch hitter. 2 gone.
Great location with the curveball thrown by Kroll.
So David DeJesus is due up. And looks like he'll get another pinch hitter here. Brandon Geyer will pick up a bat.
Your attention, please. Pinch hitting for DeJesus, number 5, Brandon Geyer.
So Geyer for DeJesus. Back-to-back pinch hitters.
Geyer has been their best pinch hitter this year. He's driven in 7 runs as a pinch hitter this year on 7 hits.
Bouncing in, 1-0. Such a valuable asset to have on your bench. A guy that can come off, pinch hit, and get you a base hit every now and then. 7 for 24, pretty good. 292. Trying to hold up, unable to do it. He went around.
That's a good cut fastball. 88 miles an hour on that cutter. His 4-seam fastball gets up to 95. Nothing Geyer could do with that pitch.
Fly ball in the air toward right. JD is on the run. He'll get there, and the threat is over. So Kroll does the job. They strand 2, and we go to the 7th.
Nathan Carnes, boy, has he been on point here today. Fastball's gotten up to about 93, but he's moved it all over the strike zone. He's had that really good breaking ball that he hasn't shown as much today that he has in recent starts. An occasional changeup. He's just really kept the ball off the barrel of the bat of the Tigers this evening, and he's pitched a nice job. And he is also 13 of 19 in first pitch strikes, which always bodes well for a starting pitcher.
Well, it's still a 3-0 ball game. And it's going to be Yoenis Cespedes start things off. Cespedes, Martinez. 2, 3, and 4 in the Detroit lineup. First pitch is hammered deep to left field. Don't even look at this one. It's way out of here. Elmore, the left fielder, didn't even budge, and it's 3-1.
Yoenis Cespedes on balls on the inner third of the plate, whether it be down the middle or whether they be inside, he has absolutely clobbered those pitches this season to the tune of about a .450 batting average. It's the highest batting average he's had so far this year on pitches that are inside. He stands right on top of the plate with that slight open stance, and boy, when he hits him, there's no doubt about him.
Well, the one he hit at Fenway Park hit a sign, otherwise he would have left the building.
It was still rising when he hit that Advil sign.
So it's a 3-1 game now. Still nobody out. Here's Victor Martinez. Look at the bullpen working. Will the Rays? 1 ball to no strikes on Victor. Single and a ground out in this game. He had the only Tigers hit until that home run. It was number 16 for Cespedes. That's in for a strike. Defensive changes. Elmore is the new left fielder. Geyer is the new center fielder. That's in for a strike. Sliced left field, base hit.
Do it, Victor.
So the Tigers open up the 7th back-to-back hits. Hey, the Tigers will host Team Mickey All-Star Baseball Tour on Sunday, August 9th when they face the Red Sox at 108. Special ticket packages include a limited edition Tigers branded Mickey Mouse hat. Available exclusively at tigers.com/Team Mickey. That's going to be it for the starter. Carnes, he will be lifted to the bullpen. Go the Rays. We'll be back. J.D. Martinez will stand in the month of July. .325 with 7 home runs this month. A long ball here would tie the game up. 3-1. Rays have the lead. And J.D. looks at one right at the knees. Strike one.
Last couple of years in the power department, there really has been no hitter in the majors better than J.D. Martinez in these types of situations, 7th inning or later.
He's facing Kevin Jepsen, the new pitcher out of the Rays bullpen.
He's got a big arm. His fastball will get up to 95 miles an hour.
Chased a breaking ball there.
He also likes his curveball. Changeup not so much, but the batting average against the Jepsen fastball is just .212, and the batting average against his curveball this season is .206. And so those are his 2 primary pitches.
He's gotten ahead 0-2 on J.D. Martinez. Ground out, fly out in this game. Roller towards short. Looks like it might be 2. 6-4. Safe at first base. Boy, J.D. getting out of the line in a hurry, and he beat it out. We'll see if Kevin Cash wants to challenge this.
It's a nice job by J.D. He was reaching for that breaking ball away from him, which means he had 1 step out of the batter's box going down toward first base. And that step he needed to make it safely.
No challenge. Cash looked at it, or had his defensive team look at it, and they said don't do it. So J.D. is on now with 1 out. That'll bring up Nick Castellanos. Swing and a miss at that breaking ball.
That's a good pitch there by Jepsen, knowing that Castellanos loves to swing at first pitch fastball, so he pulled the string on him and he threw an outstanding curveball there. Back at the bullpen pretty good for Tampa. Jepsen, McGee, and Boxberger.
Good block there by Casali. Another breaking ball bouncing in.
And remember last year Joe Madden had the nickname for the back end of his 2 bullpen pieces. That would be Jake McGee and Brad Boxberger. He called them Jake in the Box.
That was really good, actually. Well, we mentioned they pitched the most innings in the American League. They have 40 saves, the most.
Here comes that curveball again.
And when you put it right there, forget about it.
He can do whatever he wants to do right now with Castellanos. He can simply go with another breaking ball, or he can climb the ladder with a mid-90s fastball. That's an unhittable curveball there thrown by Jepsen. There they go. Fastball up.
Sailed outside. Up until this year, Jepsen played his entire career with the Angels. In fact, he was born in Anaheim. Two and 2 on Castellanos. He chased it in the dirt. Strike 3. 2 gone. First strikeout for Jepsen. That'll bring up Avila. Tigers have gotten on the board here, 3-1. They have a man in first and 2 outs. Alex 0 for 2 against the starter Carnes. Grounded back to the mound, and in his last at bat struck out. Ball 1. Tigers in this game have been out hit 10-3, yet they trail by only 2 runs. Rays have not been able to tack on too many. They had a golden opportunity in the 6th, but Kroll came out of the bullpen, did a nice job stranding 2 runners. Here's the 1-0. Low, and Avila laid off 2-0. That's in there. 95 mile an hour, then 90s fastball from Jepson. More action in the Detroit bullpen. That would be Alex Wilson, who has been throwing.
And Mick Billmeyer, the bullpen coach down there, making sure that Wilson knows if he is coming into the game who he will face and what the scouting report is on that hitter that he's going to face when he does come in.
Meanwhile, Jepson has gone 3-1 now on Avila. He's missed low with everything that he's missed with.
Well, if you're Avila, you got to be sitting on 1 pitch and 1 pitch only, and that's that mid-90s fastball. If he throws you a curveball, unless he hangs it, you don't want to hit that anyway.
He walked him. So that'll put 2 men on. Tying runs are on now. Here comes Jim Hickey running out of the bullpen. There's more activity. Jake McGee starting to warm up. Jepson got a ground ball from JD. He got Castellanos to strike out, chased a breaking ball in the dirt, but he's walked Avila. Both managers, well, they got the wheels turning right now.
Looked like Brad was bouncing something off his bench coach there, Gene Lamont, and Wally Joyner giving Romine the scouting report on Jepson.
So here is Iglesias now tying runs around the bases. 3-1 ball game. Iglesias ground out strikeout. Martinez at second, Avila at first. Ball 1. The downside to this situation is both Tigers runners neither run very well.
And which means the outfielders can play a lot shallower than they normally would against bigger, powerful guys other than Iglesias. They're shallow.
There's another one down low, and it goes 2-0.
They have pitched Iglesias aggressive inside all evening long. A couple nice stops by the catcher, Casale. How about that visit by the youngster Beckham? Settled the veteran down, Jepson.
Missed high, and now it's gone 3-0. And Jepson, all of a sudden, after getting 2 outs, can't find home plate. He's about to walk the bases loaded. Not a good ratio. Here's the 3-0. That's down the middle, a strike. Romine waiting on deck. Jepson operating against the bottom of the Tigers lineup here. Tying runs on. 3-1 game. We are in the 7th inning. High fly ball. Left field should get him out of the inning as Elmore waits, and that is that. Tigers get on the board though, and they do so on one mighty swing from Cespedes. Hit it a long way. 3-1 ball game.
That would be the bottom half of the 6th inning. Runners on first and third. Albuquerque was pitching, but Brad went to the bullpen for Kroll. Kroll got the strikeout of Butler, and he also got Geyer, who's a good pinch hitter, to fly out to J.D. Martinez. No more harm done.
In the meantime, the Tigers got a run back on the home run by Yoenis Cespedes. But they left 2, and now Wilson comes out of the Detroit bullpen.
Alex Wilson on for the 38th time this year, sporting a nice ERA at 1.88. The whip is under 1. He has been, well, he's been money out of that Tigers bullpen this year.
He will need to continue to be money here tonight as he will face Longoria, Loney, and Forsythe, 3, 4, and 5 in their lineup. Evan Longoria tonight doubling a walk. He's also popped up. Two balls, no strikes.
Wilson had a chance to pitch in Boston, the team that he played for last year, and said it was a real nice gesture. He said when he came into the game a couple of nights ago in Boston, they played his walk-up song for him, he said.
Nice.
He said it made him feel right at home.
Here's a strike, 2 and 1.
You don't get that very often. The opposing player comes back and public dress announcer, they play your music.
Nope. Never happens. He's gone 2 and 1 on Longoria. Ripped to left field, base hit.
That's a dangerous count going up against Longoria.
His second hit of the game, leadoff man on for the Rays. We'll bring up James Loney. Tampa Bay has 11 hits tonight.
Didn't you say this offense was struggling?
I did. Well, technically, I mean, 11
those
hits.
Are the facts.
They only have 3 runs, but they came in really scuffling with the bat. Last in the American League in team batting average, second from last in runs scored.
Really, the last 3 teams the Tigers have gone up against were struggling from an offensive standpoint. If you go back to the Seattle series, their offense was struggling. Boston offense wasn't performing all that well before the Tigers got to town.
And that's what's made the 2 series results against those 2 teams frustrating.
And the lack of wins is making the trade deadline dilemma an issue for Dave Dombrowski.
It is. I mean, all it really in my mind would have taken was, rip off 3 wins in a row, and we're not talking about anything. The Tigers have not been able to do that yet. There's still only 4 back, and as Brad says, that's nothing.
Yeah, because there's teams calling for Price. There's teams calling for Cespedes. There's teams calling for Rajay Davis. There's interest in Ian Kinsler as well.
Loney takes high and away.
And which means the Tigers have some really good players, some players that other teams feel like can help them win a championship, but those players are hoping that that's right here in the Motor City.
2-1 on Loney. Loney had a single in his last at bat. Former Los Angeles Dodger.
How about that 2-headed monster out in Hollywood, Kershaw and Greinke?
Pretty good. Stretches this year where they were literally unhittable.
They still are.
Yeah,
they still are.
Although Greinke's runless streak has come to an end, he still has just been so dominant. 2-2, the count on Loney. Logan Forsythe will be next. Wilson again with the 2-2. Little chopper foul, got a piece of it to stay alive. What's going on out there in the National League West?
It's close.
What about San Francisco? What if they went out and got a Hamels/Price type elite kind of guy to go with Bumgarner?
Oh, that would put them right in the thick of things, just like some of the other contending teams. They will do something too. They do something every year at the trade deadline.
High pop up into shallow left field. Cespedes charging in. He'll make the play. Loney retired. Hey, follow the Tigers all season in 2015 with MLB.com at BAT. It's the #1 app for live baseball. At BAT is up to the moment. At any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com at BAT on your smartphone or tablets. Here is Forsythe. 2 singles. His last one knocked in a run. That was back in the 5th. Strike 1. Forsythe was picked up in a deal with San Diego. Played parts of 3 years there. He's having his best year power-wise, RBI-wise. Right back up the middle, and this is going to be a double play. 4, 6, and a 3. That'll end the 7th. Let's go to the 8th. Hannibal Sanchez went 5 1/3 tonight. 8 hits, 3 earned runs. He struck out 6, but Roddy didn't seem to have his sharpest stuff tonight.
From the get-go, he walked 2 of the first 3 batters that he faced today. The fastball only got up to 93. He threw some fastballs at 86 and 87 miles an hour. So this was not vintage Hannibal Sanchez this evening.
Jake McGee coming out of the bullpen now for the Rays.
32 strikeouts so far this year for Jake McGee. He's only walked 3 batters in the 25 games that he's been out there, and the ERA is at 1.14. Mostly fastballs, high-octane fastballs that go anywhere from 95 to 97 miles an hour.
Rajai Davis will pinch hit for Andrew Romine as we go to the 8th. And Davis looks at a strike 0-1.
95% of the pitches that McGee throws, 95% are mid-90s fastballs. The other 5% is curveballs.
Rajai in his 18th pinch hitting appearance here tonight. He flares one foul back out of play on 2. And Rajai 3 for 17 is a pinch hitter this year with 1 RBI.
I don't think I've ever seen a ratio like that, buddy.
No, I know I haven't.
95% fastballs, and it's not like he hadn't been out there a bunch this year.
McGee had a spectacular year last year for the Rays. He had 19 saves, had an ERA of 1.89, and appeared in 73 ball games. Rajai takes high. In fact, he's gone better than 70 appearances 2 straight years now.
He has 5 saves on the season. Boxberger, he'll probably pitch the 9th if the score holds the same. He has 24 saves this year.
Anche hits it down the right field line. It's going to go foul.
But Kevin Cash really has no defined closer. He will go with the matchups very late in games, depending on who's coming up, whether it's left-handers. He'll go with McGee in the 7th, 8th, or 9th. He'll go with Jepsen in those same 3 innings, as he will do with Boxberger.
That can make it a little bit tricky because everyone says that relievers love to know their role. And those roles can jump a little bit. There's a bouncer to third. On the run, Longoria throws him out by half a step. 1 away. By the way, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag Detroit Data Strong Fan for a chance to have it featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Number 55, Jeffrey Marte.
So Jeffrey Marte now will pinch hit for Anthony Gose. Back to the bench goes Brad Ausmus. Marte batting 174, fouls it away 0-1.
Something else that told me that Anibal Sanchez was not on top of his game. You brought up the point that he had 5 3-2 counts, 3 full counts, and 5 3 full counts in the game, but overall 8 3-ball counts in the game overall. So command was not good.
And the Rays were able to scratch 3 runs against him, 1 in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th innings. Will it be enough? We'll see. 1 ball, 1 strike on the pinch hitter Marte. Fouled away, and the count is 1-2. Bruce Rondon warming up in the Detroit bullpen. The 5 of the 8th will be his. Or so it appears. 1-2 on Marte. Again, a mid-90s fastball that was rising up, and Marte just got a piece of it. We're going with Jepsen in the 7th, then McGee pitching here in the 8th. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. 2 gone.
Overpowering fastball thrown by McGee on the outer 3rd of home plate. As a matter of fact, that's on the outside black. With that velocity, 96, almost impossible to do anything with that last pitch.
Pretty good 8th inning weapon. Here is Kinsler now with 2 outs.
Now that 7th inning weapon that they ran out there too, Kevin Jepsen, not too shabby either. As a matter of fact, the Rays this year 41-2 when leading after 7 innings.
That one slides outside. 1-0 on Kinsler. Fly out, ground out, fly out. 0 for 3 for Ian.
Ian can hit a good fastball. Always has been able to.
Had a rip at that one. One ball, 1 strike. 3 runs, 11 hits for the Rays. A run on just 3 Tigers hits here tonight. Here comes the fastball in to Kinsler. Left it out over the plate. It's fouled down the right field line. Will they get back? Oh, look out. Loney goes into the seats, unable to make the play. One ball, 2 strikes. back in the Tigers bullpen area. Should Kinsler reach, Cespedes waiting on deck. He's already homered in this game. He would be the tying run. And again the 1-2. Kinsler wasting some pretty good fastballs up. Jake McGee against Ian Kinsler here with 2 out, nobody on.
Finally going to throw Ian a breaking ball.
And he took it low. McGee was a 5th round pick back in 2004. It took him 7 years to get to the big leagues. He was a starter in the early days in his pro career. He's worked nothing but out of the bullpen in the major leagues. Another one low. This will get away from the catcher Casale.
That's the best fastball so far thrown by McGee. That one got up to 97 miles an hour. About 90% of the 17 pitches he's thrown here today have been mid-90s fastballs.
Read 2. Another one fouled back out of play. That one in 96.
Ian is giving McGee quite a battle.
Number 9 about to come home. An 8-pitch at bat so far for Kinsler. We got Davis to ground out. He struck out Marte. A couple of pinch hitters, but Kinsler proving to be a tough out. Ground ball, base hit left field. What an at bat for Kinsler.
And last time Yoenis Cespedes, he came to the dish. It was against tonight's starter Nathan Carnes, and he got a first pitch fastball that was right in his happy zone. And he played long ball for the 16th time this year. It told you that he loves that ball that's inside. That 316 is inside, 469 right down the middle, 370, 352. Well, you get what I'm talking about. That's a very dangerous area to try to pitch to Yoenis Cespedes, and that's where he has done, I mean, major damage this season.
He is the tying run at the plate here. Kinsler with a great at bat to keep this inning going. And it's in for a strike. Cespedes 1 for 3 with the home run. The long ball was his 16th of the year. Popped him up foul. This will head back to the seats. And now 0-2 on Yoenis. They played a pull on the infield. The entire right side of the infield is wide open, with Loney holding the runner at first base. The 0-2. Way outside to the backstop it goes. Advance the runner. Wild pitch.
It's a four-seam fastball thrown at 97 miles an hour that sailed on McGee. Got away from the catcher, Casale.
Now it's 1-2 with a runner in scoring position.
That is the first wild pitch of the year for Jake McGee.
Really?
The first of the year.
As hard as he throws, that's odd. Here's the 1-2. 2-2 on Cespedes.
I'll give you one reason why I think he hasn't thrown many wild pitches this year is the fact that he throws 95% fastballs. Not many breaking balls that catchers have to get down and block.
Yeah, good point. Victor Martinez on deck. Soft little pop-up back to short. That's going to drop in and score a run. An RBI single for Cespedes, and it's 3-2.
Two outstanding at-bats turned in by Ian Kinsler and also Yoenis Cespedes. Cespedes saw 9 pitches, and we're going to show you Yoenis Cespedes' pitches that he got from McGee. And first pitch fastball. As a matter of fact, everything was a fastball. That one got away. Finally came inside with a fastball. He jammed him, but Yoenis Cespedes is so strong he was able to fight him off in that batting average in that hot zone we just showed you. Well, those numbers just went up in one of those areas.
2 RBIs on the night for Cespedes, 57 on the year, and it's now a 3-2 ball game. Now Victor Martinez with the tying run at first. Victor has 2 singles. That's in for a strike.
All this with 2 outs.
McGee has thrown 25 pitches. One ball, 1 strike. Victor came in batting .386 from the right side. Now McGee ready with the 1-1. Drill down the left field line, hooking foul. Geez, how about the numbers at the Trop?
He loves hitting here. And 380 batting average, 8 homers, 25 driven in, and the OPS is over 1,000.
Blacksburger is warming up now. He had Kinsler 1-2 before Kinsler singled to keep it going. He's got Martinez 1-2. Way high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul back, 2-2. The count remains. Another 96-mile-an-hour fastball, but McGee now is about to throw his 30th pitch after retiring the first 2 batters.
He's well rested. He hasn't worked since last Wednesday in Philadelphia.
Cespedes represents the tying run at first. Martinez digs back in. Laid off, and the count now goes to 3-2, and the lefty continues to struggle. Here's the ratio after 30 pitches.
Yoenis Cespedes will get a head start from first base on the 3-2 pitch that McGee is about to throw to Victor, but hey, don't vacate too soon.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out 97 at the letters. He gassed Martinez, and the inning is over. The Tigers get to within 1 run as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The Rays have the lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Tigers to within 1 run. And Bruce Rondon coming in now for Detroit.
15th game now for Bruce Rondon. He's got a couple of holes. The ERA is 7.36. 16 strikeouts against 4 base on balls. Power fastball, as you know by now, gets up to 100 miles an hour. He's got a couple of secondary pitches as well. That would be the slider and the changeup.
Here are the changes for the Tigers along with Rondon. Davis now in center, Marte at first. Souza Jr. leads it off as we go to the bottom of the 8th in a 3-2 ball game. Elmore to follow and then Beckham. 6, 7, 8 in the lineup for Kevin Cash. Here's the 1-0. 2 balls, no strikes. Way inside. 3-0 now on Souza Jr.
Well, if you're Brad, you got to get somebody up in your bullpen right now. The score sits at 3-2. You've done a nice job of inching your way back into this thing. You cannot allow Rondon to give up 2 or 3 runs in this inning. Well, 1 run for that matter.
Anything. Here's the 3-0 coming home. 3-1 on Souza. Elmore waiting on deck. Here's the 3-1 coming home. Breaking ball, and he dropped one in nicely.
How about that?
3-2.
Gutsy call there by Avila, because you know Rondon did not shake him off.
Threw him a good one too. Here's the full count pitch. He walked him. Leadoff man is on here in the 8th. A Saturday Major League Baseball returns with the Freeway Series between the Angels and Dodgers, a game you can only see on Fox Sports 1. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Last thing Brad wanted to see there was a leadoff walk.
Elmore has one sacked bunt so far this year, for those of you at home thinking that he might be trying to sacrifice Souza Jr. into scoring position.
This is his first at bat of the ball game. Kevin Kiermaier left the game with an abrasion in his left eye. That's why he left. Showing bunt, lays it down. Rondon will take the out at first. Sacrificed by Elmore. It'll put a man in scoring position now with one out.
Number 1, Tim Beckham.
Here's Tim Beckham. Double for Beckham in his last at bat. He's 1 for 3. In fact, he greeted Albuquerque with a 2-base hit. That was in the 6th. Strike one. Fastball to 96 from Rondon. Bruce had some tendonitis in early April in his bicep, was put on the DL. When they activated him, they sent him to AAA and then called him back up. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now on Beckham. Tigers, when we get to the 9th, we'll have J.D. Martinez, Nick Castellanos, and Alex Avila. Bruce swung around a lot that time on that hip turn and fired one in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I don't know how in the world Avila was able to keep this in front of him, but he was. He did. Ooh. It's a breaking ball that he was able to somehow get over in front of and ever so slightly bend the waist, bend over and kept that ball out of chest protector.
1-2 on Beckham. Slice to right field. That is going to be a foul ball. And Souza Jr. goes back to second. This by a pretty good margin.
Here's a hitter that Rondon needs to put away. Cannot hang a breaking ball here. He's got a 100-mile-per-hour fastball. If he throws his slider at the bottom of the strike zone, there's no way that Beckham could put it in play.
Bouncing ball foul outside of the bag at first. Seventh inning or later this season, 4 homers, 13 RBIs. So a lot of his damage has come late. He's trying to extend his team's lead. Right now it's a one-run game as we play here in the bottom of the 8th. And again the 1-2. Buried it in the dirt at 99. 2-2. Beckham takes one up and in. Then we got away from Bruce, and now he goes 3-2. So Rondon walks off the mound to regroup. Leadoff walk to Souza Jr. Sacrifice advance him. And this will be Bruce's 15th pitch. Swing and a miss. It got away from Avila. That'll advance the runner to third. 2 gone. Beckham is out. Rondon gets his first strikeout. And now it's going to be Casale.
It's a gutsy call by Avila to call for the breaking ball here with the risk of walking Beckham. But you knew that if you continued to throw that pitch, sooner or later he would not be able to lay off of it. He's got a run, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Last time I checked, yeah. Ball gets away like that after a swing. You're supposed to run down to first base.
So a runner at third now with 2 outs.
A wild pitch allowed the runner to get over to third.
Here is Casale. Casale with a homer and a single in this game. He homered against Sanchez back in the 3rd, the first run of the game for the Rays. They got another run in the 4th, one in the 5th, and that's all they've been able to do to this point. Missed again, 2-0. Former Tigers farmhand Kurt Casale. Looking to deliver an insurance run here in the 8th. Rondon ready with the 2-0. Driven high in the air to left field. Way back to the warning track. Cespedes going to look up. And that ball is gone. It's a home run for Casale right down the line. A towering drive. Both of his home runs tonight were hit a mile high.
Kevin Cash put Casale in the game tonight for offense and offense only, and boy has he delivered. He turned on an upper 90s fastball and lofted it so high that no one knew what was going to happen. I thought that ball got up in the catwalk for a moment.
Yeah, because it didn't seem to want to come down. And you could see it landed fair. Brad going out and saying the same thing you did, Rod, that ball hit the catwalk.
How about this? First career multi-homer game for Casale. You got to be kidding me.
We kid you not.
Career home runs number 4 and 5.
He hit it so high that it took forever to come down. Rondon can't believe it. So Brad is done with his talk with Paul Nart, who is the third base umpire and crew chief. So the home run will stand, and now the Rays have jumped out 5-2. Here's Joey Butler batting with the bases empty. The number 9 hitter tonight, Casale, hits 2 homers. That's fouled away, 0-1.
It's the first time the Tampa Bay Rays have scored more than 4 runs in a game in over 2 weeks.
Jeez.
You got to go all the way back to July 8th, right before the All-Star break, the last time they scored more than 5 runs in a contest.
0-2 on Butler. Ed Hickox took the brunt of that one. Avila making sure he's all right. Right through Avila and right straight to Hickox.
Yeah, I don't think he can do much for Hickox right now.
No, there's not a whole lot you can do, but just wait. Your breath will eventually return.
Try not to make him laugh.
Well, while they talk about that, let's check in with John Keating. A look ahead at what's coming up on Postgame Tigers Live.
All right, Mario, one of the stories tonight, obviously the start for Audubon Sanchez, and it wasn't the start that the starter wanted. Pitch count got way up. Is there something going on with Sanchez? That's one of the questions we'll pose to Brad Ausmus on the Tigers Live postgame coverage from here in St. Pete. The Call Sam Studios contributing as well, guys.
Thank you very much, Keats. A swing and a miss. Butler is out of there. 8th inning is over. However, they get a couple of huge runs. Rondon surrenders a homer, and we go to the 9th. 5-2. All right, Johnny, thank you very much. It is a 5-2 ball game here. Last call now for the Tigers as we go to the top of the 9th inning, and Brad Boxberger, the closer for the Rays, coming on.
Boxberger, another one of those really good arms out of the bullpen for Kevin Cash's Rays. He's converted 24 of 26 in the save department, 49 strikeouts in 43 games. He's only walked 19. The whip, well, it's just a 1.29 for Boxberger.
Boy, that 2-run homer by the number 9 hitter Casale makes it a little bit more comfortable now for Boxberger.
Fastball changeup is what Boxberger will feature. An occasional curveball, but most of his pitches, fastballs and changeups. And the league is hitting 216, 216 against the heater, 214 against the changeup. So not a lot of success on either of the pitches.
Shifting JD to the left side of the infield. Right at the knees, a strike called. 0-2. 5 runs, 12 hits for the Rays. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers.
A lot of interest out there in Boxberger, McGee, and Jepson. And Rays taking calls on all 3.
Jammed in that time.
And you can see why. All 3 have mid-90s fastballs.
Way high.
Do you think the Rays view the trade deadline a little differently than the Tigers because they don't have a Cespedes, they don't really have a Price, they don't have those kind of marquee players to think that they might be able to get back into the East or the wild card?
I really do. I mean, I don't think publicly you can go out and say, yeah, we're looking to sell here, because you certainly want to protect your fan base and want to sell tickets the second half of the season. But yeah, I mean, look at their lineup compared to the Tigers lineup, and there certainly, I think, is less hope, I think, for a comeback.
Yeah, if they can get themselves 1 or 2 really good players for either of the 3 relievers, they no doubt would help themselves going into 2016.
Swing and a miss. JD down on strikes in a 95-mile-an-hour heater.
They don't mess around, man. They just come right after you.
Third baseman, Nick Castellanos.
95 with a little tailing action on it as well.
Nick Castellanos. Nick 0 for 3. Strike 1. Boxberger, born in Fullerton, California, lives in Mission Viejo. Swing and miss. From mid-90s to upper 70s. 0-2. Got him. Strike 3, and Castellanos come looking. 2 outs.
'94, and you cannot make a better pitch. Right at the glove, at the knees, on the black outside.
Nick was saying the same thing as he simply turned around, went back to the bench.
Yeah, that's one where you don't want to do it too often, but you simply have to tip the hat or the helmet and look for your next at bat.
Here's Avila. Ball 1.
Meanwhile, the catcher Casali has done it all here tonight. He's called a really good game. He led the youngster Nathan Carnes. He's also led a few relievers here. McGee was struggling, but he got him through it. And he's hit 2 homers.
Yeah, don't forget that. Ball too high. Walked for Avila in his last at bat. He's 0 for 2 with the base on balls. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Off speed, darts low. Now it's 3-0 on Avila. Tigers need 2 base runners. Bring the tying run to the plate.
Avila will not be swinging here. His run really means nothing. They need base runners.
Ooh, he walked him on 4 straight. Well, that's a start. 2 walks tonight for Avila.
Shortstop,
We'll bring up Iglesias. Ground-out, strikeout, flyout tonight for Jose. And his average at 316. He'll play behind Avila defensively at first base. That'll get back out of play. 0-1 on Iglesias.
Iglesias bumped up to 7th in the batting order this evening. First time he has batted 7th this year. He's batted 2nd a couple of times. He's batted 8th. He's batted 9th.
I think Brad has tried to stay away from moving him too far up in the lineup. I think that he feels that a lot of his success is due to the fact that he is hitting the lower part.
I would agree with Brad on that.
There's a large calling to get him to bat second when the Tigers were struggling for a stretch. That'll go foul, and now Boxberger ahead 1-2. We got good play here. Ooh, little hat action.
He took it from the senior citizen.
Well, he's a Tigers fan.
That works.
It's all right. It's the 1-2. Bouncing ball to short. We should do it. Beckham will throw in time for the out. And that is it for the Tigers, who fall in game 1 in this series against the Rays. And the Tigers now fall 3 under. We'll see if the Tigers are going to challenge this play. The Rays are celebrating, but hold on. Nope. Brad says forget about it. It's over.
And last time the Tigers 3 games under 500. You got to go back to July of 3 years ago.
5-2 is your final score in this one. Tigers out hit 12-5 in this game. We'll be back.